Becca. Becca 2 and 3. Hey, brother Shalom. All praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostle elders at Great Millstone that rule well. Shalom to the Akyat and his work in sincerity and truth, and not in vainglory. Yeah, brother. So this is a quick to the point. Get right to it. Becca 2 and 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time." Okay, but at the end it shall speak. These visions are these prophecies. Okay, all right. And back during the 80s, the early 90s, it seemed like these prophecies was moving along at a slow pace. Okay, but now they're starting to come to pass, man. The RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, the pestilences, okay, these outbreaks that's happening, all right. America going to war and declaring war on Iran, okay. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak." We're at the end times now. We're in the end. All right, the end times, the end times really started back when over a little bit over 2,000 years ago with Yahweh Shai. That was the beginning of the end times. All right, now we in the end times, man. Okay, because now these prophecies are starting to take place. Pestilence, wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places. The RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. All right, it says, "And not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." The famines are not going to tarry. The pestilence is not going to tarry. The wars and rumors of wars are not going to tarry. All right? These nations shooting their nuclear missiles on America, aka the daughter of Babylon, is not going to tarry. It's going to come to pass. All right? And with that, brothers, shalom.
The Lord thy God will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains, and beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel.
There is good inside you. I do.
Alright, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Wadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect brethren pushing this truth and sincerity. Alright, it's just pretty much, a little quick commentary, a little quick lesson on how, how men are being marked right now. The righteous and the wicked are being marked. The righteous are being marked for salvation, and the wicked are being marked for judgment. All right, because the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. I pretty much I have a couple scripts to back it up. So I'm gonna get straight into it. This first one, is an example. And then I'm gonna get to the point with the script after this. This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 4. For if Yahweh spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly. So this right here states that Sodom and Gomorrah was left as an ensample / example unto those hereafter that should live ungodly, because Sodom and Gomorrah is an example in the ways not to live, because Sodom and Gomorrah was completely wiped out and no man hasn't dwelt there ever since. But what's today? Nowadays, America is a new modern Sodom and Gomorrah in Egypt, and America is going to be destroyed with nuclear fire, completely made desolate, completely destroyed by nuclear fire, which will happen in World War III. That will be fought with ICBMs. And delivered. Okay, but this is the point I'm getting. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. Okay, and it says and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. And us men in this truth, we vex now because of the conversation of the wicked. We vex by the bullshit and the wickedness and the abominable things that we have to see in life on the daily. You can't even escape this shit. You turn on TV, it's some madness. You go to work, you might see some madness. You outside, you go see some madness. You turn on the radio, you'll hear some madness. You can't escape the madness going on in this sinful, wicked ass society, this sinful, wicked ass world. It's nothing but homosexuality, idolatry, adultery, witchcraft, and the list goes on. And it's vexing. I'm saying, and Lot got delivered and was vexed with the filthy conversation, and we vexed with the filthy conversation also. For the righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and hearing, and us, we righteous men dwelling amongst lawless brute beasts, fucking heathens. You got the 2/3 acting worse than heathens. We living amongst these lawless brute beasts, and that's vexing. And hearing vexed, for the righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and hearing, vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. And we are ready to get the fuck up out of here, man. And if you want America to go on forever, you deserve to be destroyed with this bitch. And I was saying, because America is an abominable, wicked ass kingdom, man, and it got to go, hands down. And it's vexing, because it says here, it vexes righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. And it vexes us also because we are witnessing these unlawful deeds. We witnessing the abominations and the transgressions going on, and not saying, we are perfect, but, because we transgress too, but we give effort not to transgress. We give effort and rehearse the righteous acts to the best of our capability. You know what I'm saying? But these lawless brute beasts, these heathens and these 2/3, they not even acknowledging the law, statutes, and commandments. They not even acknowledging the righteous acts, and that's vexing. And that brings vexation unto the spirit. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished. So the Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust for the day of judgment, because the righteous aren't given unto temptation, and some of the unjust and some of the wicked is reserved just for the day of destruction and the day of judgment. But the example I was trying to get at was Lot being vexed with the filthy conversations and the wicked deeds he was seeing from day to day But this is getting to the point where how I was telling you brothers how the angels marks those which get vexed with these wicked deeds and the vexation of these filthy ass conversations. The angel marks the men that sigh and cry the abominations of this place. The angels mark the men that are against this world, that are against this society. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 3. And the glory of the God of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was, to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. Okay, and the man clothed with linen, that's an angel Ezekiel's talking about. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Okay, and that's the point I want to get at, because Lot got delivered. Just Lot got delivered, and just Lot was vexed with the filthy conversation thereof, and his righteous soul was vexed because of the wicked deeds he was seeing and hearing on the daily. And our righteous soul is vexed. We get vexed by the filthy conversations that we hear. We get vexed by the wicked deeds that we be seeing. We get vexed by the abominable things. We get vexed when we see a grown ass man with weave with a Rick Ross 5 o'clock shadow. That's an abomination. That's fucking sickening, man. These gay ass niggas wearing dresses, wearing leggings, wearing weave in their hair, talking and acting like an abomination, man. And this shit is vexing. These women is being straight up whores and hoes, cheating on their husbands, sleeping with multiple men. All these women is giving into whoredom now. All these women is whores now, man. You got to be careful, you know what I'm saying? You make sure you wrap, you go be mangling something, make sure you wrap it up, you know what I'm saying? Keep it tight. These bitches is loose and real nasty nowadays. And it's getting to the point where it's like, damn, you look at certain bitches and be like, yo, I don't even want to touch this bitch. This bitch done fucked about 20 niggas this year alone. And the shit is sad. It's vexing, you know what I'm saying? Gotta force your children to get vaccinated, get poison put up in them. All the food is defiled. The water, even the fucking spring water defiled. The bottled water defiled. The food is defiled. The fruits and vegetables defiled. Everything's defiled. The air is defiled. Food defiled. Water defiled. It's vexing, man. But I'm going to bring this out again. This verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And the men in this truth, the men in the great millstone, do we not sigh and cry for all the abominations in the midst thereof? Yes, we do. When we out there on the highways and the byways, we sign and crying. We making videos, we sign and crying. When we just sitting down thinking to ourselves, we sign and crying. Tired of this fucking place. We all want to get up out of here, man. Don't nobody want to stay here in America, and that American dream shit is bullshit. And that fairy tale love shit is bullshit too. Don't nobody want to sit and make a family, have children, grow old in this place. Hell no. You gotta work till you die. Ain't no happy ending on this side, man. Ain't no happy ending. The only happy ending is when Yahweh Shem Yahushua returns and we inherit the kingdom of heaven and everything get put back into the way it's supposed to be, under a righteous establishment through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay, so the Lord told the angel to mark those, which sign cried the abomination. So the Lord had the angels go and mark the righteous men. Mark the men, sign and crying for this wicked ass place. And right now, as we speak, we all getting marked. Lord's willing, I get marked. Know what I'm saying? Because, ain't nobody exempt from judgment. Everybody's under subjection, to the powers that be and for these prophecies, and unfortunate events that's going to take place on in this world. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got to see it and we got to go through it. But you know, through the power and spirit, how about Shimmy Shy? We move all the way through. We get delivered. We stay strong. We stay hopeful. We stay faithful. And, you know, so you know we go get married. But as for the others, right? So I'm gonna jump down to verse 5. And to the others, he said, in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So the Lord said, mark those which sign cry for the abomination of this place. And to the others he said, in mine hearing, go ye after through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity. All right, so the righteous go get marked, and everybody else is going to get smited and smoted and slain and killed, you know, and have no pity. The Lord said, have no pity. And then he says, slay utterly, old and young, both maids and little children and women. So the Lord said, slay every fucking body. Slay the old people, slay the young people, slay the women, slay the men, slay the children, slay the babies. And that just shows you that whoever perished was not innocent. For whosoever perished is not innocent, because the angels and the Lord is going to be killing babies. And those babies not innocent, because it's all a spiritual thing. You know, it's all a spiritual thing. You know, and hey, some souls is reserved just for the day of judgment, the day of destruction. Slay utterly old and young, both maids, the little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. And Lord's willing, I get a mark. Now I'm saying, you know, from the angel, you know, people like, you know, I ain't talking about the RFID chip. I'm talking about the mark from the angel. You know, I'm not trying. I need salvation. I need salvation. I need to get up out of here. I need eternal life. Not only do I need it, I want it. I need it and want it. I need and want salvation. I need and want eternal life. I need and want to be of the elect. Lord's willing, Yahweh Shimmy Shy. Know what I'm saying? And but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Because what does the script say? The script says the judgment begins at the house of Israel. So the judgment is going to begin with Israelites, with Israel, you know, and everybody getting marked. And for those that don't got the mark, is going to get fucked up. So, you know, so with that, you know, call halal, Yahweh Shimmy Abashai, Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to you like brethren, pushing the truth to sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom, Pastor Hart, coming back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem, Hashem, Kakodash. And this is GMS in transit. Thinking out loud, whatever comes to mind, speak on. We in today's date is May 16, 2019, year Karagma, and one day closer to the mark of the beast being implemented on the world level. That's why myself through the Spirit gave the term Karagma to 2019 now. Are they going to fully implement it in the year 2019? I don't know, but it's getting closer. Could be 2020. And they say they've been trying to push this national ID, real ID. This was back some years ago, and the various states, didn't really accept it. So they're gonna try to bring it out again. They want to get you used to that cashless society, having one card, one ID with all your information on it, and eventually putting it all on your smartphone, and then ultimately putting it in a microchip, putting it in your hand or your forehead. So we're in that time, Mother Israelite can't see it. The Most High clearly didn't open up their eyes to see it. We see it clearly. And I can see you bucking up against it maybe 5, 8, 9, 10 years ago, but it's obvious. And that's what we've been fighting for. That's what we've been waiting for. And you men out there that came into this truth and you were on fire, and now you're lukewarm, you're disenchanted, you're not on fire, you're not pushing this truth, you very well may be one of the 2/3 and not the elect. You're supposed to be on fire for this truth. The scriptures say, watch. I would stand upon the tower and watch. The watchmen, also known as watchmen. Why? Because we check out the news and current events, and we filter it through the scriptures. So the mindset that we're supposed to be in is a mindset of prophecies coming to pass. You have this, I was going through a page on the top 10 plagues that made a comeback. And if I remember, I'll put it up in the description box. And it mentioned the tuberculosis. It mentioned the plague, and the plague is known as the Black Plague. They call it the plague, the Black Plague, or the plague of death. Which when you look up the Black Plague or the bubonic plague, we're talking about back in the 14th century. We're talking about the mid-1300s. So we're talking 800 some odd years ago. And now we're supposed to be eradicated. But then all of a sudden now it made a comeback. And that's fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28th chapter. That you shall suffer all these plagues, and even the plagues that are not written in this book. So the Black Death is not written in the Bible. AIDS is not written in the Bible. Tuberculosis is not written in the Bible. So, you got people suffering these plagues. And you had a couple of weeks back, 2 weeks, 3 weeks back, you had 2 universities getting shut down. We spoke about that. One of them was UCLA, which is a major university. they had quarantined that university and then quarantined another college or university. Then it was about a week later, not even a week later, that they quarantined a cruise ship. And the only way people could get off them ships is if they off that ship if they took the vaccination. So you were desperate. You didn't want to be on the ship for weeks, months. And that's what I see them doing. I see them going to certain public places, and anytime you step out your house, that's the public. You know, that's the public. Go to a park, go to a store, go to the mall, go to the movies. That's the public. And that's the way they're going to push that vaccination, and ultimately, and they're going to get you used to getting those vaccinations and being monitored. And they even said if you don't take particular vaccinations, they're going to lock you up. If you don't have your children take it, they're going to lock you up. So Esau is closing in on all of us. And we're in the time of being tested pursuant to Revelation 3, verse 10 to 12. Where it says that we're going to be tested. And the only way you're not going to take the chip, not going to take vaccines, you're not going to comply to Esau, is if you know this book. We know not to take the microchip because we know that it's in the scriptures. So when they fully implement the microchip on the whole planet, the whole world, I say that in the oikomany sense of the word, a lot of these different Israelites that don't know better, they're either going to take the chip, they're going to listen to their leaders, and they're going to take the chip. The leaders are going to either say, well, I don't know, or you can take the chip, that's not the mark of the beast. But then I see some of them leaving their leaders and starting to watch us. And when all hell breaks loose, and if YouTube is still up and running, you're going to be watching our videos. You'll be really paying attention to our videos, man, because now what's happening is you got a lot of people that go on videos. You got guys that came into the so-called the truth 2 years ago, and they'll put up one video and they'll get 10,000 hits on it, and they just came into this thing. They're novices, man. And the people that go on your pages, they go on your pages, like I said before, they go on. A lot of these Israelites, they go to the different YouTube pages for entertainment purposes only. They're not going to keep the Passover. They're not going to keep the Sabbath. They're not going to put fringes on. They're not going to go on the highways and the byways. They're not going to look to go to a camp. They're not going to look to really study. It's in one ear and out the other. Like they love those videos where Edomite kisses the boots of the prophets. Boy, you're gonna get a guaranteed, 10,000, 6,000, 10,000 hits, because people are on there for entertainment purposes only. And when all hell breaks loose, they're gonna be looking for answers, and they're not gonna find the answers. We're living in serious times. And people are going to get serious when the shit hits the fan. We got in the news, Matthew 24 speaks about wars and rumors of wars. And you got a rumor of war involving the U.S. and Iran. over some incident. Now you might have Jake out there, saying in their mind, "Oh, yeah, if the war comes, the Most High gonna come get us." No, the Most High's not gonna come get you. Because before all hell breaks loose, before this place is destroyed, Babylon the Great is destroyed, the chip has to be instituted. When one prophecy takes place in order for another prophecy to then take place. Just like it was 2,000 years ago with the apostles, the disciples, which became apostles. You have John, which I did a video the other day on, or yesterday, dealing with Revelation, the 6th chapter, which I'm going to go into that breakdown because I went on YouTube and I didn't find anybody, as far as Israel is concerned, breaking that thing down. And a bunch of Edomites called themselves breaking it down. There was one Edomite that actually read the Revelation, the 6th chapter, and that goes into the plagues when it speaks about the black horse going into the pale horse. The pale horse represents Jacob's trouble. The shit hitting the fan. All hell breaking loose. And then that part of the prophecy, the pale horse, that speaks about these diseases, these plagues, people starving to death. Second Ezra the 15 kicking in, and then after second Ezra the 15th chapter, you got second Ezra the 16th chapter, which proves that the Apocrypha is a divine book that's part of the original scriptures, because it goes into a lot of prophecies, especially in the book of Ezra, the book of Baruch, the book of Ezra, first Ezra, second Ezra, goes into those prophecies. And like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, that everything that we've been saying is going to come to pass. All hell is going to break loose, the time of Jacob's trouble. And that's why we go through a lot of the same scriptures. We'll go into the book of Daniel, mainly Daniel 12, Daniel 7, Daniel 9 we go into, but Daniel 9, those prophecies took place already. You have these Edomite Christians that are saying 7-week tribulation period in the middle of the week, 3.5 weeks. It's talking about now. It's not talking about now. It already took place. I may go into that in another video. Daniel the 8th chapter already took place. So anybody saying, reading from Daniel the 8th chapter, saying it's talking about this and that's talking about Trump, you don't know the scriptures. You're just making it up as you go along. The same goes with Daniel 11. Daniel 11 already took place. You got Edomites reading from the book of Daniel 11 and applying it to things that are happening now. No, it's not. It's not. You don't know the scriptures. You don't understand the scriptures, and that's why you wacky tacky Christians, you're really learning from us. You're bucking up, talking shit, but you're really learning from us. Now you start to try to go out on the highways and byways, which these devils in the past used to actually, I remember these Christians, these Edomite Christians, used to actually be out on the highways and the byways. Then they basically stopped doing it. So they see us doing it, And they're saying, yeah, maybe we should be out there in the highways and the byways. Because the Lord did say that. And that's why we got this fame. You know, we're famous now. We're infamous, really. You know, we're famous in a negative way. But yeah, that's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. And it's beautiful how the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, he took Yahweh Shai and he took 12 men. Actually, it was 84 men, because it was actually 84 men that that followed him. He had originally had 84 disciples, and 70 of them split, because he said, you got to eat my flesh and drink my blood, and they thought he was talking about cannibalism, and they became disenchanted and said, no, I ain't with eating nobody's flesh. What he meant is a spiritual flesh. Eat this roll. The roll is Yahweh Shai. Lo, I come into in the volume of the book that is written of me. What is that? Psalm 40, verse 7. It's also reiterated by Paul in the book of Hebrews. There's in Revelation, the 6th chapter, it speaks about the black horse. It speaks about a measure of wheat for a penny, a measure of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and or the wine. So that oil and that wine represent this truth. I'm giving you oil and wine right now. I'm giving you the body of Yahweh Shai and the blood of Yahweh Shai, so you can eat and drink. We're giving you a meal. What is that in Jeremiah 3, verse 15? It said the Most High shall set up teachers to feed you. You know, feed you with the right food, non-GMO food. What we're giving you is non-GMO food, because this is food you eat. Eat this roll, Ezekiel 3. You got guys out there eating GMO scriptures, man. If you break down the scriptures, hey, the mark of the beast being an embargo on Christianity, that's GMO. That's a GMO scripture, man. That's non-organic. You shouldn't eat that. That's a Monsanto breakdown. Anyway, I'm gonna say shalom. If the spirit jump back on me, keep speaking. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.
Alright, shalom. Want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elder apostles, and salutations to the house of David, to the men, women, and children of the hopeful elect. Now check this out. I got you an article today from theconversation.com, and this one is titled Ashkenazi Jews' Mysterious Origins Unraveled by Scientists Thanks to Ancient DNA. And this ties into a video that I did 2 years ago titled The Enemy, the Evil Khazarian Mafia Rothschilds, and is a 3-part video series, part 1, 2, and 3. And I'll put the links in the description so you can go watch it, so you can learn more about the Khazarian Empire, okay? Khazaria, which is southern Russia, all right? Parts of modern-day Turkey and Kazakhstan, over where the Caucasus Mountains is. And there's a lot of good information in the articles that I bring in there. But check this out. Let me go straight into this article, all right? It says, all right, and it's crazy because these devils, man, like we talk about DNA tests, that DNA tests are not accurate, but these devils, man, their own bullshit basically debunks their own lies, all right? Their own information debunks their own lies and reveals their hypocrisy and contradictions. But check this out. It says, the article reads, where do the Jewish people come from? This is a question that anthropologists, historians, and theologians have studied for millennia. According to mythology, the Judeans descended from 3 patriarchs, and they want to call it mythology. This is the blatant disrespect to our scriptures, our book, our testimony, which is only for the children of Israel, the true descendants. All right? But I'm going to read verbatim. It says, according to mythology, the Judeans descended from 3 matriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are buried in the cave of the patriarchs, cave Machpelah in Hebron, a Palestinian city and World Heritage Site located in the southern West Bank, 19 miles south of Jerusalem. Whether this is accurate or not, I do not know. But I will further read. It says, buried alongside them are said to be Adam and Eve and the 4 matriarchs, Sarah, Rebecca, and Leah. The cave has never been excavated, but on top of it is a relatively modern building, mid-1st century, which Herod the Great built, likely to honor his ancestors. Now check this out. This is where it gets juicy. For a more scientific take on the Jewish origin debate, recent DNA analysis of Ashkenazi Jews, a Jewish ethnic group, revealed that their maternal line is European. It has also been found that their DNA only has 3% ancient ancestry, which links them with the European Mediterranean, also known as the Middle East, namely Israel, Lebanon, parts of Syria, and Western Jordan. This is the part of the world Jewish people are said to have originally come from, according to the Old Testament. But 3% is a minuscule amount and similar to what modern Europeans as a whole share with Neanderthals. So given that the genetic ancestry link is so low, Ashkenazi Jews' most recent ancestors must be from elsewhere. And this is what I talked about in the Evil Khazarian Mafia, part 1, 2, and 3. Okay? It says only, according to their DNA test, only 3% goes back to our Holy Lands. So if only 3% of their DNA goes back to our Holy Land, who the hell are these imposters that are claiming to be us? That do not believe in the Old Testament regardless, and instead are Kabbalists that study the Talmud. Who are they? I talk about it in the Evil Khazarian Mafia, part 1 and 2 and 3. Who are they? But we will further expound in these 2 articles. It says, not one but many tribes. To understand why this is the case, we need to go back in time to look at where these other ancestors came from. It starts in Persia, modern-day Iran, during the 6th century. This is where most of the world's Jews were living at this time, meaning these Amalekites, all right, that call themselves Jews. It says the tolerance of the Persians encouraged the Jews to adopt Persian names, words, traditions, and religious practices, and climb up the social ladder, gaining a monopoly on trade. From the beginning, they've always had greed, all right, ambitions and greed, all right, with respect to money and luxuries and riches, and always establishing monopolies against the people. It says they also converted other people who were living along the Black Sea to their Jewish faith. This helped expand their global network. Among these converts were the Alans, Iranian nomadic pastoral people, Greeks and Slavs who resided along the southern shores of the Black Sea. Upon conversion, they translated the Old Testament into Greek. They built synagogues and continued expanding the Jewish trade network. These Jews adopted the name Ashkenaz, and the DNA of the Ashkenazic Jews can be traced to ancient Ashkenaz, an intersection of trade routes in eastern Turkey. Okay? This is where they come from. They come from eastern Turkey. The rise of the Ashina, all right? Matter of fact, I'll get it later. I'll pull up a map. It says the rise of the Ashina. We now know that at the time these Jews adopted the name Ashkenaz. They also acquired unique Asian mutations on their Y chromosome. This is where another important group of people in our story come into play, and they are called the Gok Turks. During the 6th century, these nomadic people were ruled by a Siberian Turkic tribe called the Ashina. They were forced by the Chinese Tang Empire, who were in power in China at the time, to migrate westwards toward the Black Sea. Thanks to their organizational and military skills, the Ashina united many tribes in this area, and a new empire called the Khazar Khaganate was born. Khazaria. I talk about Khazaria in depth in the video, The Evil Khazaria Mafia, Part 1, 2, and 3. It says, offering freedom of worship and tax and trade, these people quickly rose to power. The Asian group of these DNA mutations found in Ashkenazic Jews likely originated from the Ashina elite and other Khazar clans who converted, all right? This is their history. They converted from shamanism, so they were always originally witches, thus the Kabbalah. They converted from shamanism to Judaism. This means that the Ashina and core Khazar clans were absorbed by the Ashkenazic Jews. It was also around this time that the Jewish elite adopted many Slavic customs. And based on my previous research, I would suggest that Yiddish was developed as a secret language to assist in trade. Yiddish, which is the real language of these so-called Jews, all right, is a combination of German, Slavic, all right, Slav, and Hebrew. All right. Now it says, written in the Aramaic alphabet, right, which is the modern Hebrew symbols that you see today, the modern Hebrew characters. It says, the next chapter says, what happened next was the Jewish empire began to collapse. By the 10th century, the Jews on the Black Sea migrated to Ukraine and Italy. Yiddish became the lingua franca of these Ashkenazic Jews and absorbed German words while maintaining the Slavic grammar. And as global trade moved from the hands of the Italians, Dutch, and English, the Jews were pushed aside. All right? So once again, it says Yiddish became the lingua franca of these Ashkenazic Jews and absorbed German words while maintaining the Slavic grammar. It says what this all shows is that by using modern genetic technology that enables scientists to track the past of modern day people, a new appreciation for Jewish ancestry can be discovered. It has meant a greater understanding of the journeys of these people took to arrive in Europe. It has also allowed for increased knowledge as the significant role the Ashina and the Khazar clans, from which some of the real Jewish patriarchs actually came from, played. From which some of the real Jewish patriarchs, so the people that are passing themselves as Jews, which are not, this is where they come from. Okay? They do not come from the Holy Land. This is their true origin. As a matter of fact, let me get the first scripture. Okay? It says, Revelation 2:9, I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them that which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Okay? Because that is who they are. They are the synagogue of Satan. They are children that have inherited lies. All right? Revelations 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, these Kabbalists, because they follow the Kabbalah. The majority, over 90% of these Jewish rabbis are all Talmud, Kabbalah practitioners. That is a fact. It says Revelation 3:9, Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. These devils are going to bow down to us. Oh, and they are proud as hell. but they are going to bow down to us and worship before our feet. And they will know, all right, that the Lord truly loved us and the Lord was always with us, because they have inherited lies. All right. It says, give me 1 second. Okay. Here is the other article, also by theconversation.com, all right, which I found very interesting. And notice these Ashkenazi, notice, right, from Eastern Turkey, modern day Eastern Turkey, where Khazaria resided, all right, which is west of Asia, all right. So they notice they kind of look some of them look like this dude in the middle looks kind of Asian, all right, because they have Asian they've been mixed with Moabites as well. But this is the tribe of Amalek. This is who they really are. They are sons of Esau. Now this article ties into the other article, uncovering ancient Ashkenaz, the birthplace of Yiddish speakers. And here's the date of this article. This article actually came out 3 years ago, May 6th of 2016. And it reads, at 1,000 years, all right, at 1,000 years, the search for the location of Ashkenaz, thought to be the birthplace of Ashkenazic Jews and the Yiddish language, is one of the longest quests in human history. It is perhaps second only in length to the search for Noah's Ark, which began in the 3rd century AD. The place name Ashkenaz occurs 3 times in the Bible, but by the Middle Ages, the exact origin of Ashkenaz was forgotten. Because of the migration of the Ashkenazic Jews, it later became associated with Germany. This led to all German Jews being considered Ashkenazic, a term which was then applied to Central and Eastern European Jews, which follow Ashkenazic religious customs and who speak Yiddish. The Yiddish language, which consists of Hebrew, German, and Slavic elements and is written in Aramaic, has been spoken at least since the 9th century AD, but its origins have been debated by linguists for several centuries. So this, like I told you, the synagogue of Satan that calls themselves Jews and are not, they claim to speak Hebrew and they teach those Aramaic characters as Hebrew, and they claim to speak, but it is not a pure language. It is Yiddish, and it is a combination, okay? A combination of 4 different languages. That is called confusion. Right? It says, while some have suggested a German origin, others believe a more complex beginning for the language, starting in Slavic lands in Khazaria. Remember that name, Khazaria. Go watch the video, The Evil Khazarian Mafia / Rothschild, part 1, 2, and 3. The Middle Age Khazar Empire that covered present-day southern Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and parts of the Caucasus, and followed by Ukraine and finally Germany. Although the language adopted a German vocabulary, it retained its Slavic grammar, which is why Yiddish is often referred to as bad German. And as a matter of fact, Germans and these Khazars, these Khazar descendants, these Amalekites, the synagogue of Satan, that call themselves Jews and are not, this is why they can communicate with each other and understand each other. It says the inability of linguists to reach a consensus have led some to decry that the mystery of where Yiddish came from will never be solved. But now, for the first time, a pioneering tool converts genome data into ancestral coordinates, is helping to pinpoint the DNA of Yiddish speakers. In the largest genomic study of Ashkenazic Jews, and the first one to study Yiddish speakers, we applied our geographic population structure tool, which operates in a similar way to the satellite navigation in your car, to the genomes of more than 360 Yiddish and non-Yiddish speaking Ashkenazic Jews. Surprisingly, our GPS homed in on northeast Turkey, where we found 4 primeval villages, one of which was abandoned in the mid-7th century AD. Northeast Turkey is nowhere near our Holy Land. That is far away from where we originate from where they claim to originate from. It says these ancient villages identified by the GPS tool are clustered close to the Silk Road, the ancient network of trade routes, and are named Iskenaz, Eskenaz, Ashenaz, and Ashkus. And it is likely that these are the villages that mark the location of the lost lands of Ashkenaz. The history of a people. Located on the crossroads of ancient trade routes, this region suggests that the Yiddish language was developed by the Iranian and Ashkenazic Jews as they traded on the Silk Road from the 1st centuries AD to around the 9th century when they arrived in Slavic lands. Putting together evidence from linguistic history and genetics, we concluded that the ancient Ashkenazic Jews were merchants who developed Yiddish as a secret language. They developed Yiddish as a secret language. So this is not the holy tongue. This is not the original tongue. This is not Hebrew. Okay? With 251 words, they developed the Yiddish language, all right, a secret language with 251 words for buy and sell to maintain their monopoly. The craftiness of these devils. They were known to trade in everything from fur to slaves. By the 8th century, the words Jew and merchant were practically synonymous, and it was around this time that Ashkenazic Jews began relocated from ancient Ashkenaz to the Khazar Empire to expand their mercantile operations. This Jewish migration led to some of the Turkic Khazar rulers and numerous Eastern Slavs living within the Khazar Empire to convert to Judaism, so they didn't miss out on the lucrative Silk Road trade between Germany and China. This is what they did. They converted to Judaism. But the demise of Khazaria, they converted to a religion, that is. All right? They took our faith and they perverted it. That is what Judaism is. But the demise of Khazaria, due to continued invasions and finally the Black Death, devastated this last Jewish empire of Khazaria. This led to the Ashkenazic Jews splitting into 2 groups, some remaining in the Caucasus and others migrating into Eastern Europe and Germany. The 2 groups still called themselves Ashkenazic Jews. However, the name Ashkenaz became more strongly associated with Germany and the European group, for whom Yiddish became their primary language. A secret language, since northeast Turkey is the only place in the world where the place names of Iskenaz, Eskenaz, Ashenaz, and Ashkus exist this strongly, implies that Yiddish was established around the 1st millennium at a time when Jewish traders moved goods from Asia to Europe. This was done by developing the language of Yiddish, which very few can speak or understand other than Jews. These imposters, that is. Further evidence to the origin of Ashkenazic Jews can be found in many customs, such as the breaking of a glass at a wedding ceremony and placing stones over tombstones, which were probably introduced by Slavic converts to Judaism, more pagan practices, because it is not in the Torah or the Tanakh. By studying the origin of Yiddish using our GPS technology combined with a citizen science approach, we were able to shed light on one of the most forgotten chapters of history and demonstrate the use of biographical genetic tools to study the origin of languages. For Ashkenazic Jews, these are the ties that bind their history, culture, behavior, and identity. Okay? And I will link the article in the description. But I want to show you one more thing. All right, this is Yiddish. Okay, I looked up Yiddish on Google, and it says, a language used by Jews in Central and Eastern Europe before the Holocaust. It was originally a German dialect with words from Hebrew and several modern languages, and is today spoken mainly in the US, Israel, and Russia. So these American so-called Jews, these Israeli so-called Jews, and these Russian so-called Jews, all right, which the establishment that I used to work in, the pawn shop that I used to work in, okay, is owned by a Russian Jew, so-called Jew, a Russian Amalekite. As a matter of fact, the majority of these pawn shops, all right, because you got to be very ambitious to run a business like that. They're run by a bunch of Amalekites, right? So this is Yiddish. Now let me see if I can find, okay, a map of Turkey. See if I can find a good map. Let's see here. Let me check this one out. Here it is. All right, so this is Europe. All right, this is Western Europe. Here's a little Eastern Europe up here. Here we have Eurasia, Middle East. So here's Iraq. Here's Egypt down here. Here you see Jordan, Jerusalem, Syria up north. This is the land of Turkey in the orange up here. And if you look right above Turkey, all right, this right here in the middle, this big landmass, you see Turkey. And you look on Turkey, so this is Eastern Turkey, and you see Georgia right up here in the green, okay? And then you see Iran right here to the west in the green, all right? And you see Iraq to the south in the pink. But this area where Iraq, Iran, Eastern Turkey, and Georgia meets, this is the ancient area of Ashkenaz, all right? This is where the Caucasus is, all right? Here is the Black Sea up here to the north, right? But let's focus in this area here where Georgia is, which is Ashkenaz. This is far away from Israel, which is all the way here to the south of this picture, all right, where Egypt is met, Eastern Egypt. Here you see Jordan, right, Jerusalem, Amman, Damascus. This is a far away. This is where they originate from, up here where Georgia is. In the cold. This is where they thrived, in the cold, snowy snowy areas. Right? Harsh living. There's no way in hell that they are from Israel. So I wanted to show you that map. All right, because you got to get familiar with geography. All right. So check this out. Here are some scriptures. Right? This is in Exodus 17 and 16. I'm going to run through this. It says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, write this down for a memorial in a book and rehearse it." Put this down. "And rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven." And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nisi. For he said, because the Lord have sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And speaking of which, so the Lord declared the beginning from the end. And as a matter of fact, I remember, speaking of Germans, I remember I had a German boss whose last name was Malik. Okay? And he is German. And his last name is Malik, which Malik comes from Amalek. Okay? Malik origin. Malik name meaning Polish, Czech, Slovenian. Alright? Slovenian, Slav. From a pet form of a vocabulary word meaning small. Alright? Coming from Malik. But it's actually spelled Malik. Comes from Amalek. I know they played that down from Amalek. I'll go into that word in another video. But my boss was a German, all right? His last name was Amalek. I mean, his last name was Malik, and he was German. But anyways, let me continue with the scriptures. It says in Numbers, right? Numbers 24 and 20. It says, Numbers 24:19, it says, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Right? Because the kingdom that shall be forever, it belongs to the children of Israel. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the generations, because Amalek came from Esau, and Esau is the firstborn from his twin brother Jacob. But his latter end shall be that he perish forever. All right? Again, the end was declared from the beginning. All right? Deuteronomy 25 and 19. All right? It says, remember, Deuteronomy 25 and 17, remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, right? He even slayed the feeble behind us. When thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not Yahweh. Therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy power have given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it. This is a commandment that will be fulfilled when the Lord puts us in our power and our glory. This is a judgment that is written of in Psalms 149. Okay? The end was declared from the beginning. The end of these Amalekites has been declared from the beginning. All right, check this out. I'll read for you two more passages. It says in 1 Samuel 15, and this is for King Saul. All right. This is the story of King Saul, because King Saul was entrusted by the Lord to carry out a mission, and he failed. 1 Samuel 15 and 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. To hearken is to listen, all right, to take heed, to give your ears to. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have. The Lord said, destroy all, and spare them not. Leave nothing alive. All right? But slay both man and woman, man and woman, infant and suckling, so newborn babies, okay, sparing nobody, not even the babies. Like it says in Psalms, happy shall he be that dasheth their little ones to pieces against the rocks. And ox and sheep, camel and ass, slaughter all of them. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen, 200,000 to destroy them. You know how big of an army that is? And 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Canaanites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel, and when they came up out of Egypt. So the Canaanites departed from among the Amalekites. All right, basically say, yo, don't join hand in hand with these niggas. We're going to kill them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to spare you because of your works. But Amalek needs to get it. But check this out. Verse 7, and Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refuse, that they utterly destroyed. That was not the commandment of the Lord. He spared Agag, the best of the sheep, oxen, and fatlings, and lambs, and all that was good, their material things. Let's read what was the commandment of the Lord. The commandment of the Lord was, now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, burn it to the ground, and spare them not. Slay man and woman, infants, both man and woman, infants and suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. Basically, it was supposed to be genocide and completely 100% wipe out their population, wipe out their cattle, and destroy everything that they have. He failed. He spared the best that they had, and he spared the king, Agag. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, it repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king. So the Lord regrets making Saul king. For he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul, come to Carmel. And behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, blessed be thou of the Lord, I have performed the commandments of the Lord. So he had the audacity to say that he performed the commandment of the Lord, when the commandment was to slay them all and destroy all that they have and spare them not. You see how hard-headed our people are? And this is why we continue to live in the curses, because of our hard-headedness. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, blessed be thou of the Lord, I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, what meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, they have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy power, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. So they spared the best, right? And the rest, they have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy power, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, say on. And Samuel said, when thou wast little in thy own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel? And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. This was supposed to be their latter end, but he didn't listen. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but did fly upon the spoil, and did evil in the sight of the Lord? And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But see, he just contradicted himself. He said, I obeyed the voice of the Lord and went the way the Lord sent me. No, the Lord said destroy them. Okay? The Lord said to destroy their ancestors until they be consumed. So he's going to say that he obeyed the voice of the Lord, but then he said, I brought Agag, the king of Amalek. My man, how you going to say you obeyed the voice of the Lord, but kept the king alive? He was supposed to die, right? But as he said, but the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. So he made the excuse, the king made the excuse that the people wanted to do the opposite. They wanted to follow their own heart. And his mistake was that he was pussyfooting with his people instead of judging righteously. All right. He had respecter of persons for his own people's desire. Basically, he admitted that he was pussyfooting, but his pussyfooting got him in trouble for pussyfooting with his people and beating around the bush and then sweeping it under the rug and then coming before the Lord saying that he obeyed his voice. Right? And he said, and Samuel said, have the Lord as great delight in burning offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. See, the Lord loves sacrifices made unto him, but to obey the Lord comes first. Now I'm going to disobey and then do this because the Lord loves sacrifices. It says, verse 23, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king. Okay? And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. He was pussyfooting with his own people. And they were supposed to be utterly destroyed. All right. This is Jeremiah 48 and 10. Okay. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, which is what Saul did. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully, and cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. He was sent on a mission to destroy our enemies, and he didn't do it. Okay, this is the last example of these Amalekites. This is 1 Samuel, the 28th chapter. Okay, and it says, 1 Samuel 28 and okay, it says, I'll start at 15. 1 Samuel 28 and 15. And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, because Samuel had died, right? So check this out. Samuel had died, and Saul didn't know what to do. So he used a witch to summon Samuel's spirit, using witchcraft. But it says, Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God, the Most High, is departed from me. Yahweh is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Right? So the Yahweh is departed from me, and answereth me no more. Okay? This is let me get in the bookmarks. This is Proverbs. All right? Proverbs 15 and 29. It says, the Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. Okay? So right, and check this out. Verse 32, he that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. Okay? The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. But 29, the Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. So the Lord is not hearing the prayer of the wicked, only of the righteous. Now let's go back to Samuel's 28 and 18. Verse 15, it says, verse 16, it says, then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou ask of me? Seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy. And the Lord have done to him as he spake by me, for the Lord have rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David. So the Lord took away Saul's majesty, and he raised up David. It says, verse 18, because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek. The Lord had fierce wrath with Amalek, but he didn't do it. He spared the king Agag. Therefore have the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. Meaning you're gonna come to the grave with me. You're gonna die tomorrow. Because Samuel was already dead. Samuel speaking to Saul right now was Samuel's spirit being risen from the dead through fucking necromancy, through a witch that he hired. The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul felt straightway all along on the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel. And there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all day nor all night. Okay? And this is John 9 and 31. It says, now we know that Yahweh heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshipper of the Most High, and doeth his will, him he heareth. Okay? And I bring out these scriptures of Amalek and Saul, and these scriptures with the prayer of sinners and who the Most High heareth, right? For two reasons. Because these people were supposed to be exterminated a long time ago, but our rebellious king, King Saul, he was pussyfooting with our people, scared of them. He confessed it. All right? Didn't bring righteous judgment. He was unlike King David. King David was playing no games. All right? So unlike King David, he was playing games, and he did the work of the Lord deceitfully. And that is also just like these devils that are claiming to be us. The Lord is not hearing their prayers because they don't obey the commandments of the Lord. These imposters are not the real Jews. They are the synagogue of Satan. And their latter end will be ultimate annihilation. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elder apostles, to the house of David. Shalom.